Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more transfer rumours and gossip. Just going to give you a bit more additional information regarding Erling Haaland. These lots of other things to currently talk about, but the first topic of development I'm going to start with is regarding Erling Haaland and that. Manchester United, I think, are expected to sign Erling Haaland in January. More transfer speculation has been fueled because, according to recent reports, Erling Haaland's father has visited Manchester United's training ground. The name of his father, I think, is Alf Inge. So he obviously, with him visiting our training complex, he has obviously fueled more speculation. Now I think Erling Haaland is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's top priority target. I think it's him and Jadon Sancho that are our two priority targets, and that Erling Haaland is probably going to cost us in the region of around £85 million. I think Jadon Sancho is going to cost us in the excess of around £100 million. So we are going to spend a substantial amount on both of them. But do you think Erling Haaland would be the right calibre player for Manchester United? There's been a lot of narratives going on about him in the mainstream media, at least for the last couple of weeks. I think the beneficial thing about recommending Erling Haaland in to Manchester United, he has played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance, during that period he had with Mould. And obviously, Solskjaer is keen on reuniting with the player. He's been a revelation for Red Bull Salzburg this season, by the way. He has scored 26 goals in 18 games in all competitions. Scored around 7 goals in the Champions League, so he has been a prolific goal scorer so far this season. And I think if he comes to Manchester United, he can replicate what he has done so far this season with Red Bull Salzburg. And he is only at age 19. He would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because we've already, as it stands, got a lot of young players in the team. Solskjaer I think he's keen on continuing the policy of recruiting young British players to the football club, like he did do during the course of the summer. Even though recent reports did reveal that he could consider changing his transfer strategy. But I think Erling Haaland, of what I've seen of him, he can score goals, he can create chances. And that's what we need. We need at least one striker, because we need to get a replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez, because we do look very exposed in that attacking line. Following their departures. Obviously, we know recently that Rashford rejuvenated himself. Obviously, Anthony Martial, since he's come back, you can say he's added more inspiration in that attacking third in the pitch. And it's good that Martial now is back, because he can help the likes of Daniel James and Marcus Rashford. But I think we still need to recommend at least one attacker in, because analysing it for the vast majority of this season, we have been struggling to create chances, and this is the explanation mainly why we haven't been scoring enough goals. Recently we have rejuvenated ourselves, like I put into the equation, in the last 6 games or so. Prior to the 1-0 defeat against Bournemouth, I think since the Liverpool game we have really rejuvenated ourselves, and it seems like we have turned a corner. But I've seen a variety of changes now quite recently. These question marks around it. Can we keep the consistency up and that? And like I did say, if we can keep this consistency up until January, or until the end of the season, then my perceptions may change regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But until then, my perceptions will not change. But I think if we were to get Erling Haaland in, it would be very, very good, because I think he would dramatically improve us. I think Solskjaer's orchestrating on bringing 2 attackers into the club. But obviously we know that a massive rebuild is needed at the football club anywhere. I did say, didn't I, my overarching view on it all, I think we need at least 5 to 6, maybe even more, signings if we are to be back to being a competitively level football club. I also do believe that Ed Woodward has promised world-class signings at Manchester United and that. So obviously, that's some good news if it is to be true. But yeah, massive rebuild is needed. And I think Solskjaer's been assured anywhere that that he's obviously going to be giving money to spend next year. Recent reports did say that he's only going to be given around £200 million to spend in January and next summer. The question is though, is £200 million enough, to address the deficiencies in the squad? Is it enough, to, bring the right number of players into the club? It's just basically, dependent on, how we are over our recruitment, basically. I know, obviously, we're known for overpaying for players, especially in recent years. Obviously, a lot of money's been invested into this football club in all the managerial areas, since the Ferguson era and that. But I presume probably £200 million could get us maybe 3, maybe even 4 players, like I mentioned. But sometimes being sensible with your recruitment is always, very, very beneficial. We did spend a substantial amount during the summer. We spent around, was it £146 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire, and that's under 200 million, and we got 3 players for nearly £150 million. And I think they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers and that. So fair play to them. But it's very, very imperative that we do get the right calibre players to Manchester United next year. That's very, very imperative. And our recruitment's got to improve anyway, because our recruitment hasn't only been poor recently. It has been very poor for several years. So that has definitely got to improve. Obviously, with us not being in Champions League football, that could be, the main factor reason. Because obviously, when you're not in Champions League football anywhere, it's going to be harder to attract players to the elite level. You got Solskjaer coming out the other week saying he was pessimistic about, signings for January and that. Obviously, due to our inconsistency for the vast majority of this season. Because obviously, when Jordan, our worst start to a Premier League season for over 30 years. So like I said to you yesterday on my video I did yesterday, we have Solskjaer has drawn up an 8-man transfer list of long-term targets, and obviously Erling Haaland is one of our targets. Jadon Sancho is another one of them players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. Again, I think Jadon Sancho would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. Obviously he's a right winger, is Jadon Sancho, primarily a right winger, but you can also play him centrally. Don't forget, during the course the summer, we was in search for a right winger. I don't think it's not one of. It's not as much as a priority as getting a striker in and getting, a midfielder in, but you could still say, we do need a right winner. I think the beneficial thing about us, recommending Jadon Sancho in is that, he's had experience of playing in the Premier League. Don't forget, when we did serve a couple of years with Man City. He did serve a couple of years there with Man City, before he went to Dortmund. But the reason he left Man City is because City, couldn't show him first team football, and this is why he left Manchester City. And then obviously, he's been a revelation for Dortmund, since he joined and that. I think he's enjoying a difficult time at this present time, but I think prior to that, he's been a revelation in Germany. And analysed his performances for Borussia Dortmund in the couple of years he's been there. Obviously, his valuation has persistently grown, because obviously, Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They only paid around £7 or £8 million from Manchester City, and all that. And but he is only 19 years of age. There's not only Man United in him, but he's also said, that Liverpool are interested. PSG, Real Madrid. But he said the other week, we are actually, regarded as the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho. Probably more imminent that we'll sign him next summer if we are to sign him, rather than January. I'm probably sceptical about, getting him in January. But there is still a possible chance that, we could get Jadon Sancho in January. Jadon Sancho is still under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. But I definitely I love him at the football club. But yeah, so Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland are our two main priority targets. I also do believe as well that it's very, very imminent that we are going to sign Mario Mandzukic in January. I did actually say I think he's going to be our first signing in January. Could be Erling Haaland, but I think it's probably more probable to be Mario Mandzukic. As you all know, Mario Mandzukic has made his decision according to recent reports, and he wants to join Manchester United because obviously now he's served his two requirements at Juventus, because obviously since Maurizio Sarri got recommended in at Juventus, he hasn't played a single minute under his guidance as Mario Mandzukic. Now, the good thing about this is that, he is a cheaper solution. We'll only have to pay around 12 or 13 million pounds for him. I also admire him because I think he's had a fantastic career, especially, with Juventus and that. He's now into his fifth season with them. The only element of concern I've got about us recommending Mario Mandzukic is that obviously his age, because he's now 33 years of age, and that probably can emulate into like another Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You could arguably say he's only got a couple of years left in his footballing career. But at Juventus, he has scored 44 goals in 162 games in all competitions. But there's reports saying that, we could sign Mario Mandzukic before January. If we were to reach an informal agreement with Juventus before January, then it reportedly said he could start training with a football club in December, could Mario Mandzukic. But I think he'll definitely be our first signing next year, officially. And I think, he will be our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But yeah, it's looking very, very imminent. He's going to be coming in. Don't forget, we've also got Moussa Dembele on our agenda. He's on that 8-man list. We was in for Moussa Dembele during the course of the summer transfer window. Like I said, he wasn't one of our main priority targets. So what I mean in that aspect is that, we was tentatively linked with a player. Again, if we had to go in for Moussa Dembele next year, I do presume he's going to cost the club a substantial amount of money. We'd probably have to pay in the excess of around 60 or 70 million pounds, because obviously, analyse his performances at Fulham, analyse his performances at Celtic, and overall mainly analysed his performances so far at Lyon. His valuation has persistently grown, because Lyon did pay around £20 million for him from Celtic last summer. He's currently now into his second season with Lyon, but I thought he did well during his tenure with Fulham, and that's also beneficial because he's obviously now played in the Premier League. He also did have a good couple of years in Scotland with Celtic. He is only 23 years of age, and also he's an out and out number 9. So again, I think if he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. So he's another player on our agenda. I did give you the news yesterday, didn't I, regarding Matthias Pereira, who's currently on loan at West Brom from Sporting Lisbon. He did reportedly say we are considering a shocker move for the player. He has been a revelation in the Championship, with West Brom. I think he's played around 14 games so far this season for West Brom, scored 3 goals and provided around 6 assists. He is 23 years of age. He's predominantly a right winner, but he has done very, very well so far this season. West Brom, by the way, do have the option to make the deal permanent at the end of the loan by paying around 8.25 million. I think they only paid around 750,000 to get him on this initial loan and that. But he had a few loan spells before he was at West Brom. Did Matthias Pereira. He had a loan spell with FC Nuremberg in Germany. He also had a loan spell with Chaves in that Portuguese side and all that. And yeah, so do you think again, he would be the right calibre player for Man United and that? It hasn't. It hasn't come out. There's no estimation of how much it would cost Manchester United and that. There's no estimation. Probably would get him for a reasonable figure. I would presume. But probably if he keeps his good performances up at West Brom, probably West Brom will look to get him permanently. It's no obligation, like I said. They've got the option to make the deal permanent, but I don't think he's one of our main priority targets. But there was a recent reports going on about that. Like I said to you, there is quite a few midfielders on our current agenda. Like I said. Declan Rice, obviously, he's another one of the players on our agenda. Again, I think Declan Rice, would be the right calibre player for Man United. Like I said, it's very, very imperative that we do address that midfield next year, because we need to recruit a replacement for Ander Herrera, definitely. But I think we need a CDM. I think we also need an attacking midfielder. Without a shadow of a doubt, and that's regardless of what happens there with Paul Pogba. So whether Paul Pogba stays or goes, we still got to address that midfield. But again, I think Declan Rice, would be the right calibre player, like I just said, for Man United. He's only 20 years of age. He breaks up play very, very well. He's well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League. Did Declan Rice. But he has been at West Ham now a number of years and has cemented himself in West Ham's midfield well. Did well last season under Manuel Pellegrini's guidance. I think so far this season he's replicating what he did last season. I think reflecting on his good performances in December last year, he got given a new long-term contract, so he is under contract with West Ham until 2024. At West Ham, he has made 73 appearances in the Premier League. He has made around 82 appearances in all competitions. Before he was at West Ham, don't forget, he was at Chelsea. He was in Chelsea's youth academy, for a lot of years. But actually, never got into Chelsea's first team. So from Chelsea, he went straight to West Ham. Obviously, he was a product of West Ham's youth academy. So yeah, he's another player on our agenda. James Maddison, I think, you got to say, we have been long admirers of James Maddison, because reports have said, we've been interested in James Maddison since June. I think, quite a few other teams have attracted their interest in James Maddison. But yeah, he's going to cost us a substantial amount. I do believe if we had to go in for him next year, we'll probably have to pay in the excess of around 60 or 70 million pounds for him. We did business with Leicester during the summer, because, we paid 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. Obviously, he's the most expensive defender in the world and the second most expensive signing at the football club. And I will agree, we did overpay for him, but I've got to be honest, he's addressed our defensive deficiencies, and the reason we paid £80 million anyway is because Leicester, didn't really want to lose him, but we was paying £80 million. That obviously, convinced Leicester to soften their stance regarding Harry Maguire. But yes, I do presume if we had to go in for James Maddison, Leicester will demand a similar fee, or they'll demand around the same, as what we paid for Harry Maguire, because Leicester do know how much of an imperative player that James Maddison is. He's done well for them so far. He's cemented himself very, very quickly. He did well on his debut season last season. Last season for Leicester, he created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. So that was a good statistic. So far this season, he's replicating, what he did last season. He's still only 22 years of age. And I think he's still got around 4 years left on his current contract with Leicester. And Leicester paid around £20 million for him from Norwich last summer. He did have a good couple of years, by the way, in the Championship, with Norwich. I thought he did well at Coventry, when he was younger as well, where he actually began his career. He also had a loan spell with Aberdeen. But he is primarily an attacking midfield, but quite a few times this season, Brendan Rodgers has put him on the left-hand side. But yeah, he's going to cost the club a substantial amount of money. So yeah, these are so many players on our current agenda. These are so many players on our current agenda and all that. So, like I did say to you, I don't only think, that we need more signings. I do believe, these more players that do need to depart the football club, because I still believe that these players here that are no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. And I know a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, but these still definitely more that we do need to consider getting rid of next year, or if not next year, sometime in the future. So the problematic players are Ashley Young. He's one of them players. You can say now, obviously, he's past his sell-by date. The football club as Ashley Young. He's 34. He's 35 years of age next year. And obviously, I've got a lot of element of concerns about him. There is question marks regarding Solskjaer there. Why is he been playing Ashley Young on a regular basis this season? He actually was our first choice right back last season, was Young. Obviously, that was before the arrival of Van Wan-Bissaka, but he's still been playing regularly this season. I don't know if it's something to do with the injuries, because we've had a lot of injuries this season. A few times Young has obviously nowhere played at left back, but Young's been a long-serving player at the football club. He's now been here, and now this is 9th season at the club. He's been here 8 years. I can probably say he's enjoyed probably 2 good years out of the 8 years he's been here. So he has been really inconsistent, but was actually very, very good when he was younger. It was a bad mistake from the football club last season, giving him that new 1-year extension. But so he needs to be moved on. Phil Jones, definitely he's another one of the problematic players. I've basically got the same perception on Jones I've got of Ashley Young. Obviously, Jones is not as old as Ashley Young, but Jones is still aging up, and I think he's in his late 20s, or is he 30, something like that. He's been here more or less the same amount of time as Jones. Jones, I think he's now into his 9th season as Man United player. Jones has obviously enjoyed 8 years at the club. But yeah, and it was also again a bad mistake for Man United last season. Giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract. We shouldn't have definitely done that. We've got to get rid of him. Marcus Rojo. People have different perceptions. Regarding Marcus Rojo. I think Rojo's probably still going to be at the football club at least for another year, or at least until the end of the season and that. Because I think, Solskjaer has revealed the reason why he wants to keep him. So basically, Solskjaer is preventing Rojo from leaving the club in January. I was actually surprised that Rojo didn't leave in the summer, because he was subjected to intense speculation. A lot of intense speculation, and that he was, subjected to a lot of that. There was quite a few foreign clubs in for him. Also, Everton had inquired about getting him, but we knew he was for sale, because we put a £25 million valuation on him. Obviously, I don't think Everton were willing to pay it, or they just basically couldn't come to an agreement on a fee. Both clubs. And obviously, anyway, Rojo's appearances are limited at Man United, and that. He'll get obviously chance in like the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, but he won't really get many opportunities in the Premier League, because, like I mentioned, Solskjaer's first choice centre backs are Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. But, we're seeing glimpses of how good Rojo can be. I think Rojo's versatility is very, very good. He's predominantly a centre-back, but he can also play as a full-back and a wing-back and that. And I think he's 29 years of age now. But I still probably believe we need to move Rojo on, because, analysing it, we have still got a lot of centre-backs in the team. Despite the fact that Chris Smalling left, for Roma, in the summer and that, we've still got a lot of centre-backs. Definitely Nemanja Matic is one of the problematic players at the football club. He does need to be moved on. I think it's probably imminent now. We're going to end up losing him on a free transfer. I don't think we're going to cash in for the player unless we can try and get cash in for him in January. I'm probably sceptical about that. He may actually leave at the end of the season. We do have an option, to extend his contract by further year. Matic's contract by further year. We have the option, but I'm very sceptical, that Man United will do that. But Matic has initially lost his place in the team anywhere, due to his inconsistency. Obviously, he was first choice last season. He's no longer now first choice. But you do know anyway, I've got a lot of element of concerns about Matic. His first touch concerns me. He's too slow. He makes that midfield look totally imbalanced, and you can tell the difference in that midfield when Matic is when Matic is in the midfield. And when you do take him out of the equation, and he's 31 years of age now, so he isn't getting any younger anyway. So, and I do agree on the aspects again, like we did, overpay for him because we paid around £35 million him up front from Chelsea back in 2017 with 5 million add-ons. So that raising it up to around £40 million. But yeah, some people are saying, we should get rid of Jesse Lingard because, Lingard is, one of the problematic players at the football club. Well, he's proven to be problematic this season, reflecting on his bad performances. He's endured a really difficult time. And like I did put into the equation, reflecting on his status at the football club and also reflecting on the number of years he's been here, he should be performing to the standards as we should expect of him, basically. And yeah, so I do think we still need to get rid of another 4 or 5 more players next year and at some point in the future and that. But yeah, but like I did say to you when there's some aspects of me, that I do credit Solskjaer and that, to be fair, he did get rid of a lot of the deadwood during the summer. I also credit him because he has got a lot of trustworthy and his young upcoming players, But like I've recently said to you, I don't think all the upcoming players are going to become a success at Manchester United. I have got reservations about certain young upcoming players, and this is why I did say next year, we need to consider, getting rid of some young upcoming players. I have got reservations about Chong. I've probably got reservations about Angel Gomez. So I think they're who we need to get rid of next year. Perhaps maybe someone else. But I can probably assure that that Mason Greenwood. Brandon Williams and Tuan Zebe, I can definitely assure they'll all become successes at the football club and that. These question marks regarding Solskjaer and that, why is he not, started Mason Greenwood from the start yet in the Premier League this season? I'm actually, surprised that he hasn't played as many games to the extent as I thought he would have done. I thought Mason Greenwood, would have played a lot more, but he has played, quite a lot this season, but a lot of his appearances have been substitutes, as you were more know. He started a couple of games in the Cup. Mason Greenwood this season has scored 3 senior goals for the football club, and I do probably believe eventually that Mason Greenwood will end up overtaking Marcus Rashford as he develops more. Probably will become a better goal scorer than Marcus Rashford, but he's only 18 years of age, don't forget. And I think this season in the senior squad is replicating, what he did last season for the reserve teams and that for the reserve team. And Solskjaer recently had his overarching view on Mason Greenwood, and he, believes that Mason Greenwood is improving. Don't forget, he recently compared him to Robin van Persie, saying that their finishing is similar. Brandon Williams, who's obviously, predominantly a left back. You can say left back's been confirmed now. Give Brandon Williams that left back. Because, we have got quite a few left backs in the team. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a left back. You've got Young that can play as a left back and that. You've got Rojo that can play as a left back. But obviously, I'd say Brandon Williams, is my preference over all them. Despite the fact, that Luke Shaw is our first choice left back and that. But Brandon Williams has proven himself and he's earned more first team promotions, reflecting on his impressive performances. Reflecting on his impressive performances. And I thought he did fantastically well on his full Premier League debut for the football club in the 3-1 win against Brighton. And Brandon Williams is only 19 years of age, but his defensive contribution is good for what I've seen of him. He shows good attacking intent, that he will succeed at Manchester United. Alex Tuanzebe, I think, in the games he's played in this season, I think he's done really, really well. I think the last game he played in was the 1-0 defeat to Newcastle. But since then he hasn't played because he's been injured, and that is Alex Tuanzebe. If you do remember rightly, he was named in the starting 11 against Liverpool at Old Trafford. But obviously, he sustained his hip injury during the warm-up, so he couldn't obviously now play. But I don't think he'll be far away now anyway, from recovering from injury. obviously give you the news tonight recently, regarding Diego Dalot. I think he's now closer to recovering from injury because he's also, sustained quite a few injuries this season. Is Diego Dalot. But I think now he could be actually back for the Sheffield United game after the international break. And analysing it anyway, we've had a lot of injuries, this season, and reflect on the amount of injuries, we've had anywhere. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had to make alterations in the squad. Solskjaer has made quite a few. He's tried a few different elements, obviously, to try and turn his managerial tenure around. Obviously, played more of the he's played more of the young players. He's obviously tried a few different formations and that. Don't forget, we know he's mainly for the vast majority of this season. We know that Solskjaer's been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation, but in the games like against Liverpool and in the first game against Partizan Belgrade away from home, he went with three at the back, and I thought then we're sitting to look better with that formation and that. But the main formation we go with is the 4-2-3-1. I think on the odd occasion he has gone with the 4-3-3, but I think he'll just basically stick with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But I think Solskjaer did confirm anywhere after the international break that more players will be back from injury. So I do expect. What according to Solskjaer anywhere. He said that Matic, Luke Shaw, and Tuan Zebe, perhaps the lot all will be back from injury for the Sheffield United game. Don't forget, I give you the news tonight regarding Paul Pogba not too long ago. Obviously, last week, Paul Pogba travelled to Amsterdam to have his ankle cast removed. So that indicates out that Paul Pogba is closer to recovering from injury, which is obviously very, very good. Solskjaer did still say he doesn't expect him back in action until December. Well, yeah, it's very, very good news still that he's had his ankle cast removed, because you can say he has been a big miss in that midfield. Did he say there was a slight chance that he could be back after this international break for the Sheffield United game? But I think, he's very, very sceptical about it and that. But yeah, he's been a big miss in that midfield as Paul Pogba and that. But, to be fair, I think, with his absence, I think, the likes of Fred and McTominay have really hit the ground running this season. Fred's done well recently, he's rejuvenated himself. But I think, analysing it for the vast majority of this season, Scott McTominay has done really, really well. And he has been a surprise solution, the way he's performed this season. Don't get me wrong, in regards to him being the long-term solution for Man United, I have got an element of concerns about that. But he deserves to be a consistent start this season, reflecting on his impressive performances. And I still think McTominay is only 22 years of age. As you all know, I've got the same perception on Fred of what I've got of McTominay. I think, I don't know if Fred's a long-term solution for Man United. I think he's had a couple of bad games this season and that. But recently, he has complemented McTominay in our midfield fantastically well. We paid, was it £50 million to him last summer from Shakhtar Donetsk? Or was it just under £50 million? I will agree on the aspect that definitely we overpaid for Fred and that, but we still need to give him more time in the club, because not obviously not every player does settle in straight away. But Fred has done well, and Solskjaer did obviously confirm anyway that Fred will full Paul Pogba's position for them a while. But we know that Fred and obviously McTominay are two Galactico players and that. But could they get to that point? Could they get to that? If they do keep the consistency up. But even though they've been in good form and that, I still I've got an element of concerns about our current midfield. But yeah, Paul Pogba should be back for December and that. But Tomway anyway, he's obviously not out with injury. I updated you about McTominay not too long ago. He's got an ankle injury, and McTominay has had initial scans on his ankle. obviously to find out the extent of the injury, and it's actually not quite severe, because I think it's almost assured, or it is assured, that McTominay will be missing the City and the Tottenham games next month, which is a disappointment, because he's going to be a big miss. McTominay initially sustained the injury in the 3-0 win against Partizan Belgrade. But he did actually play the game against Brighton, but obviously, had to come off injured. So basically, the injured, reoccurred in that current game. But it is going to be a big miss. So Pogba, McTominay not available. Bay obviously still out with an injury until the end of the year. Obviously, we've got Fossil Menzel still out, but I think he's close to a comeback. Like I said, Luke Shaw now should be closer to recovering from injury, because Luke Shaw hasn't played since the 2-1 home defeat to Crystal Palace, which was obviously early on in the season. I think that was the third game of the Premier League season. Was that. But yeah, we have still got a lot of injuries. But like I said anyway, recently, we have done really well. Certain players have stepped up to the plate, which is very good news. I've been very impressed with Marcus Rashford recently, because he's rejuvenated himself. I think Rashford has scored 8 goals in his last 8 starts for our club and country, so that just indicates out that he's doing well. He's also now scored 54 goals for Manchester United, since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. But he's done really well. But when Rashford's at his best, he's good at getting them runs in behind. He seems to have that finishing assets, and he's still only 22, so he's still got a lot of development in him. But I even did say during his bad spell, his long bad spell, I still said, he's the long-term solution for Man United. A lot of Man United fans also do believe that he's overrated. But I think, recently he's replicating, what he did when he first broke into the senior squad, because he was actually a fruition when he first broke into the senior squad. He scored on his Europa League debut against Midtjylland, I think it was. He scored twice on his Premier League debut against Arsenal and that. But yeah, he's done well, and he's not far away now from making 200 appearances for the club in all competitions. Rashford so far, anyway, overall, has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United and that. But to me, he's still a very imperative player. Like I said, Martial's been fantastic since he come back from injury. He initially enjoyed a good start to the Premier League season anyway. I think some aspects of Martial do replicate Marcus Rashford and that, can both play in the same positions. They've nearly scored the same amount of goals, overall. Martial's on 53 goals now for the football club in all competitions. Martial is predominantly predominantly plays out wide. But like I said, he's more effective in that number 9 role. You can play Rashford in that number 9, and a few times this season we've put him there, but I think Martial seems to be more effective in that central position. That's why you do currently see the best of him. But yeah, so yeah, these quite a lot of players that have really improved at the club and that. But even though, we have done well recently, I still believe, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club, definitely. I still think, we need to get rid of Mark Kieran Board, because our board have been a liability for several years. A lot of people will agree with me on that aspect. I think we also need to get rid of Ed Woodward. Maybe if Ed Woodward can... If his promises about being world-class signings do materialise, then maybe I may have different perceptions then. But until then, I still want him out, because I think he's just been a liability for several years. I think keep Solskjaer for now. Like I said, my perceptions will only change if we can keep this good run of form up until January or the end of the season. But I still don't think he's a long-term future for Man United Solskjaer. And obviously, due to our inconsistency this season, he's definitely being accountable for some of that. So we still need to see a variety of changes at the football club from my own perception. Yeah, definitely we need to see a variety of changes at the football club, definitely. But, Solskjaer, basically, still insists he's the right manager to elevate Manchester United forward. And obviously Ed Woodward's got the same perceptions as him, because Ed Woodward recently did assure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. And I think, Man United have made several mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and I think, one of the mistakes obviously now was giving Solskjaer the job. You could arguably say, we shouldn't have got rid of Ander Herrera, because he was arguably one of our best players since the Alex Ferguson era. Some people will say, we shouldn't have got rid of Romelu Lukaku. But initially, Lukaku had to leave the football club anywhere, because he initially lost his place in the team. Lukaku obviously endured 2 years with Manchester United. Obviously you can say he had an exceptional first season with the football club. But obviously, didn't really, replicate that in his second season. But Lukaku did score 42 goals in 96 games for Man United in all competitions in the 2 years he was here, and that, his pedigree in the Premier League is obviously, very, very good. But, we did have element of concerns about him, his first touch. He was a big game bottler in that. But still come up for Manchester United at the right moments. But, he obviously joined Inter Milan in the summer, and I think since he's gone to Inter Milan, he has, performed. He has, been a revelation for Inter Milan. So I think Inter Milan now is replicating what he did with Man United in his first season. But I'm happy with the money we generated from his departure. We did get around £74 million for him, and that was surprising. But more or less, you would basically recoup the money, that were paid for him from Everton back into 2017, because we paid £75 million for him from Everton. There was 15 million add-ons, which did potentially rise it to 90 million. But again, I will agree on the aspect, that we did overpay for him, and he is now, I think, 26 years of age. But you can say that was a mistake. But obviously, the vast majority of our players that have left, during the summer, obviously the vast majority of them went to Italy. Anywhere. You've got Sanchez at Inter Milan. He's obviously not on a permanent transfer though. He's obviously on loan, but he's obviously reuniting with Romelu Lukaku. But we did well getting rid of Sanchez, because obviously Sanchez endured a difficult 18 months with Manchester United. But like I said, we have made several mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. It's probably not the only reason, but it could be one of the reasons why we have been a toxic club for the last 6 or 7 years or so. That could be, one of the main factor reasons. I think you could also say it was a mistake for Man United not getting a new director of footballing during the course of the summer. Because I did say anyway, that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club, is getting a director of footballing. And during the summer, there was quite a few former Manchester United players linked with that director's role. There was likes of Ferdinand, Darren Fletcher, and Patrice Evra linked with the role. Obviously, Edwin van der Sar now is out of the equation, because he's just signed a contract extension with Ajax. He's currently CEO of Ajax. But I did say if we are to get a director of footballing, I said, we need someone who's got the right philosophy for the club, so they can bring the right calibre players in. Obviously, someone who obviously knows the traditions of the club anywhere. But I'm very sceptical about us getting a director of footballing, especially at this current present time. But yeah, there has been quite a few. There has been quite a few linked with the vacant director's role at Manchester United and that. But you can say, Solskjaer, still needs more time at the football club. He's only been here overall now for around 11 months. So he has been here just under a year, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, he's been permanent manager for around 8 months. And you can say for the vast majority of that 8-month period, he's endured a difficult time, basically, in comparison to his time in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that. But like I said, recently, where we have rejuvenated ourselves. I think there's still a lot of Man United fans that do want Solskjaer out. But I think, the only reason we're sticking with him is because, obviously, Man United may feel as though that can still turn things around. There's still a long way to go in the season. We're only 12 games into the Premier League season. We've won 4, we've drawn 4, and we've lost 4, so we've registered 16 points from a possible 36, and we know that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. But, we're sitting 7th in the league. We're 9 points behind top 4. I did say I wanted Manchester United to get top 4 this season, because I did initially say that would be our expectations, to get that top 4, so we can obviously get into the Champions League. But I'm actually very, very sceptical about us now getting the top 4. So like I did say, I think our only route to Champions League football is progressing in the Europa League. And the positive is that we are in the knockout stages of the Europa League, which is very, very good. We've still 2 games remaining. But I initially said, didn't I, that I feel as though that the expectations are too high for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United and that. But there's still a lot of twists and turns to come, like I said. But we are sitting currently 7th in the Premier League at the moment. But I said us getting rid of Solskjaer now anyway, wouldn't solve a lot of problems at the football club. I don't think it'd solve any problems anyway, because obviously we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. And I did initially say anyway, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers and stuff like that. Because obviously not all the blame does stem from the managers. But I think reflecting on our recent form anyway, the pressure has eased off Solskjaer, because obviously reflecting back before the Liverpool game, Solskjaer was under intense pressure at the football club. Definitely. And I do believe that it probably cost us a substantial amount anyway if we did decide to sack him in the future. Probably wouldn't have to pay as much as we did do, to get rid of Jose Mourinho, but we'd obviously still have to pay something in compensation. But I thought Solskjaer, to be fair, handled that pressure well. But I don't think he's under much pressure now, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But yeah, some people still say, look, he needs more time at the football club. But we want to bring players in anyway who we think are going to fit the culture and the history of this club, and the right players that are going to get us back up there, winning silverware and stuff. Because, we are the biggest club in England. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world overall. Reflecting on the success we've had in that. And obviously, the vast majority of the silverware we won came under Alex Ferguson. We won 38 major honours under Alex Ferguson. That I don't think we'll ever be the team that we was under Alex Ferguson. I don't think we'll ever be the team that we was under Ferguson. Regardless of who our manager is, I don't think they can invoke Ferguson's legacy at Man United. Neither can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Even though Ferguson did actually, transform Solskjaer into a winner, and according to Solskjaer, he said in the summer that he was following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. Yeah, it's a long process, like I said, and I don't think we're gonna win the league for at least the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe it's dependent on what we do in the next couple of transfer windows. I think our aspirations definitely will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons. But I did say at the start of this season that I expected us to enjoy a better season this season anyway, than what we saw last season. Yeah. So the main part of this video, guys, was to give you the latest news regarding Erling Haaland and that. Like I said at the start of the video, his father, Al Finch, has visited Man United's training ground and that. So with him doing that, he has fueled more transfer speculation regarding his son, and could be on his way to Manchester United in January. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.